So this is Cuda and Carla, and this dog is 9 months old, and he's really coming along really nicely. So with Carla, what I said to her today, like, she laid her track, but she laid it right where people walk. So when I'm out here looking at a track, I try to find the dog the nicest possible grass to do that track in, no matter what the level of the dog is. I want the nicest ground, right? So when I come to a field like this, right? This is our field that we're tracking in. I would not lay a track along the perimeter like she did, especially where people are going to walk. I would pick the other direction and go that way, because this is just really hard for the dog. So what Carla's going to do is stay quite close to the dog, because it's a learning dog. So we're working on a steady line for the dog. Because you want the dog to have tension, because that's what you control the dog. That's your connection to the dog in tracking. Okay, Carla. And there's many, many ways to track. This is just one way that we track. So she walks the dog up. The second the nose is, there's a piece of food there, she's going to say Sue. So we want the beginning, the journey, and the ending all to have equal value for the dog. And what we're doing with the young dog is shaping behavior for a deep nose, building drive for the track, and building commitment to the track. That's what we want to focus on. So if you teach a dog to track in short grass like this, a dog can track anywhere. If you teach a dog where the track is visible, you will very quickly have a dog that'll start using his eyes and not his nose. So I always like to try to track where I can't see the track. Yeah, so if the nose comes up, you'd say no, 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 no. And this is, so just saying, this is really hard for him because there's so much traffic in this area. Because Carla laid the track right along the path where everyone walks. And that's what most people do, by the way. Roger laid me a track once. Guess where he laid? Right on the track. The path that everyone walks. Okay, so with Cuda, we're using an article that he's not going to want to put in his mouth. So what we're using is, I got this at the dollar store, and it's just a little mirror, plastic mirror. So Carla's going to run up, shape that behavior for the down. Okay, so get him a little bit back. So this is a little bit hard because I saw that she actually had put food right in front of the mirror. Because this is where I suggested we make a corner and go into nicer grass. And so why he went forward and had trouble at the mirror is he could smell that food that was in front of that mirror. So Carla, if you hold your hand by his head, and he has to choose no higher, yes, like that. And he has to choose to look at that article for you to drop any food. Okay, so hold your hand up, your hand higher, and he's got to look down. He looks down. Good. And I even would drop it a couple pieces faster so that he can't think of raising that head, so that he really starts focusing on staring at that article. Because in tracking, what the dog's hunting for are articles. So the articles, what we have to teach our dogs is to have very high value for these articles, right? So just let him figure it out, because this is hard, because there's food all over. Don't point, just let him figure it out. Just hold him back. Just let him work it out, because he wants the food. Don't move. Good. So when he finds it, I would say good. See, he's really using his nose. You can see that. What Carla's doing is she's maintaining a steady pressure on the line. Like, we don't want a loose line, but if it's too tight, then the dog will either go in its belly or it'll stop tracking. So it's a pretty fine line. You have to figure out what sort of tension. But tension builds drive, right? So for tracking, we need that tension, because if the dog has no drive, it's not going to make the higher levels. Quick, 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 quick. Or was there an article there? So if the dog walks over an article, then we just ignore it. It's a handler mistake if a dog goes over an article. Because we don't want to give trouble, because then the dog goes, oh, these articles aren't that great. And really we want these articles to have highest possible value to the dog. This is hard.
Does she have food in every step? Or?
I don't know. How did you lay your track, Carla?
We've got up to 9 with no food.
Okay, wow. And I'm right on a track on the corner.
It's okay, there's lots of food here. And we're heading for that tuft of grass.
Okay. So tracking is the first place we'll see the condition of the dog, the physical condition, and also the mental condition. Tracking's really, really hard mentally on a dog. So if you look, this track's been 8 minutes. Yep. So she's done just about the length of what a IPO1 track would be. So he's getting tired, right? That's why the head came up? And Carla's getting ready. She's got her food and her clicker. Click. So when he comes to an article, Carla, you need to be right beside him by the head, and you need to shape that behavior to go down. Don't tap, like shape, help him, yes, like this. Okay, so when you come into an article, Carla, have your food in your hand, and you got to race and be right beside that dog's head and shape that behavior to go down, right? So that the dog, otherwise what you have to do is give a correction and say down. And you don't want to do that until the dog is 100% secure on the down, like you say down and the dog drops. If the dog's not on that point, do not say down on the track, because then you're working on the down, not the track. Really, really nice, Carla. Yeah, really nice.
Look at all of them.
That was a hard track, a really hard track.
And yeah,
Yeah, okay.
Oh, wow.
I should have been more prepared.
It was good. You did a good job.